coverage of the Mars TV Dodo 2 tournament event. I didn't actually change that one up enough. I'm trying to change it up every time a little bit, but we're back in action. I got here Jack by my side and Gods once again as we're going to be going into our final series of the day, gentlemen. Our next lower bracket matchup of VG Gaming taking on IG here. Another team must go, and another team must go on into the next round.
I think our first series had a clear favorite. This one, I don't know. Personally, I feel like up in the air more. How you feeling, Jack?
Well, a couple big stories coming in. Well, first I wanted to point out, just watching the introduction of the teams, you had them coming on stage, and the Chinese stream chat was talking about how IG were all wearing slippers. It was like, oh yeah, they're taking this seriously. You know, they're thinking about that TI coming out with slippers, and it was the slipper squad against Yang on VG is known for liking to wear like dress shoes, like leather dress shoes.
Okay.
So it was the slippers versus the dress shoes squad, something like that, and then. IG, I think the big question for them has been they've been experimenting with a position switch in practice. You saw it also yesterday. They used burning in the offlane instead of excess carry. I don't think that's going to happen today or for the rest of this tournament. ROTK, who is now coaching the team with his own elimination with VGJ, I think he sent a Weibo post and he said something like, hey, all right, I've persuaded them to switch back to their original positions and we're going to start from scratch. So I think we are not likely not to see any more burning offlane in this tournament. So that's basically the storyline coming in. ROTK has talked about whoa.
Damn.
That's kind of Baraka-like from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
that's wow.
I don't want to go near that.
So interestingly, his name is listed here as Alpha. He's gone by every different name. So when he was on eHome, he was Yang because that is his surname, and then he became End, and then his name in Chinese is kind of like evil or monster elf. So now he goes by Elf. So you never know with this guy, but very young, promising player. VG Gaming, in recent years, like with TI approaching, they're not afraid to kind of make a shuffle and go back to like more established veteran players. For instance, they did this year with Tron and how they did it in the past with Burning. And then End was kind of sidelined as a part of that. He played with Tron for a little bit. I guess things didn't work out and he kind of stepped aside for How. So he's back in with the roster now. They just brought in FY to play in this tournament. Again, obviously things not going well with VGJ, and they'll probably make a change as well. So FY is playing for them right now, and the team has done okay, has had some okay results at this tournament. IG's been struggling a bit recently, and again trying to find their form. There's the Prince.
Do you think
hold?
Good question.
That looks like
A gun?
That looks like a straight up. Come on, FY, that's cheating.
It's like a straight up gun.
That is what it
Prince,
looks like.
they just give him an assault rifle? That's how it works?
He's been playing so much PUBG, you know. He's done his looting.
That's what
Everyone
it
else
is.
did not spend enough time looting.
How'd they get all these weapons that are just lying around here?
I thought China was anti-violence. That's what happened, Jack.
Yeah, well,
Did
there's
we
no
only censor that
blood
stuff?
and there's no skeletons, right?
Okay.
So
You're good.
we're good. As far as the meme goes, Burning has been the emperor for some time, and FY was an up-and-coming player for a while, and obviously he has the same last name. They're both named Shu, so FY just kind of became the prince as a result of that. ROTK was like the concubine. And ROTK, well, he mentioned in a Weibo post, like, sad to not be going to TI as the second straight year that he won't be playing at TI. And he's like, I felt a little dead this year. Like, it didn't feel the same to me. Like, last year, I remember they had the LAN qualifiers at Huaxi, and ROTK was kind of crying, and you could see, like, the players, like, breaking down and stuff. And this year, he's like, it wasn't quite the same. Like, our team just didn't really feel that great going into it. Maybe, like, with lower expectations, there's less disappointment as well. He's like, I'd go out and drink a little bit and kind of just got over it. And ultimately, he's going to be helping Burning, his buddy, the R&B casting duo they casted from home last year. Burning is going with this IG squad to this TI.
Do you think with FY playing on VG Gaming, there's any kind of extra motivation for FY to beat RTK's new team? I mean, he's not playing, but he is coaching. Think there's any kind of resentment between the team there based on their poor results?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Spicy.
I think there's some. I don't think that connection is where maybe some of the problems lie, because these two achieved such great results. Like, the most success that they've had in their career at TI was playing together with ROTK, FY, and Fenrir. So I'm not sure if that's where the issues went. But you bring that up, it's interesting because in China, I think more than other places, you have this like a major problem sometimes when you have older players with newer players, and some teams embrace that model more than others, and there's just a lot of pressure on them. Like talking to some people, some coaches, and some people in the scene, they say, hey, if you play on Burning's team and you're a younger mid player or a newer player, you're going to get the flack for it, deserved or not, because it's never going to come back on Burning. The same with some of the other veteran players too. So it's hard to play in that environment.
But it seems like these young players are essential for success, because I feel like there's teams with the mix of young and old. There's teams with mostly young, but I don't think there's really many teams nowadays that don't have at least some newish players on them anymore. So
yeah, but at the same time, then you have a team like, so this is another thing that made Wings so unique last year is none of those guys were really like established old guard players. Only Ice had played on like what was considered a high-tier team before. And so instead of a situation where you have a communication gap or a status gap where you can't talk about things, it was kind of like everyone's in that same boat.
They're all equals too.
They're relatively unproven newer players. That can be an issue sometimes. And if you don't have the patience, or say some orgs will be faster to make changes than others, then that can be an issue. Invictus Gaming, they are an example of a team that stayed together structurally. IGV, again, they stayed together despite not qualifying for TI last year. This IG squad has remained almost basically intact since that period of time as well. They've gone with that model. But VG, may be quicker to the gun in terms of finding those big name players to come back in and try to make TI.
All right, gentlemen, looks like we have our draft underway for game number 1 of this best of 3 matchup. IG versus VG. IG versus Vig.
Battle
Kunkka.
of G's.
Battle of G's. We got Kunkka as your first pickup for IG, and it's going to be VG Gaming going right into the Earthshaker, passing on the Sand King, or maybe they want both. We'll see.
What is with every team having a G? Is it like second
It's
initial?
IG versus Egg versus Vig.
Well, if you want to go there, we could say
Oh,
there's
gee.
Latin roots for both these names, right? The VG
yeah.
I saw, and then Invictus is Victory, I believe, is it?
I don't know. I'm not Latin. Don't look over here. That sounds a lot more majestic. I like that.
Unconquered. Even better. I
Unconquered.
like that.
Unconquered.
Invictus is Latin for unconquered.
So one is I came, I saw, I conquered, and the other is unconquered. So it's like, it's the Chinese version of immovable object and unstoppable force, right?
That's very poetic.
Sounds kind of bog to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Back
the
to the
Chinese are big on
bog.
poetic, and we're just like,
They may
we're
not be
dumbing
as
everything
big on
down.
bogs, though. So
That's how job is cast. We're going to dumb
Immovable
everything down for
object.
Twitch chat. So.
Sounds kind of boggy to me. Well, they wait a little bit, and they end up just settling on a good old second pick Rubik. FY God Rubik, maybe?
That's always some good fun.
most likely to be. So he had gotten some flack. Like, obviously, people considered him like such a great Rubik player. You saw some very enlightening performances. At the same time, though, he did receive some criticism because some people were like, he plays this kind of greedy, super greedy forward, where like he has to get his items and be able to like to go ahead and make plays. The last time he played this year, I think he went drums and Greaves rather than like rushing that necessarily a fast blink. So it was more like a bit more team oriented, I would say, in the itemization. I think he's changed a little bit in that regard. He's also known as a player who, for a forward position, doesn't really communicate that much. He doesn't talk that much, as many other forwards have this more of like a captaincy position. That's not really been his forte. So that's something to watch out for. And a lot of these guys, they've played together before. HYM was on Burning's team last year for a little bit. Obviously, Burning was on the Vici squad at that time, so a lot of familiarity there as well. When Burning was transitioned briefly to support as well.
Yeah, FY's definitely seems like the strong, silent type. Not a very vocal kind of a guy. All right. Second phase ban on the Clinks. That's an intriguing one. We saw a little bit of Clinks action throughout the qualifiers for sure, but I don't know if I've seen too much Clinks in MDL yet. But they fear the little boner.
Yeah, Burning ran that, I think, on the first day, and it worked out pretty well for them. So.
But they're just not putting a lot of information out there. Both teams just settling on their support staff generally. So not getting a lot of reads. Just a good balance of both team fight and pick-off potential for both sides. I don't know if there's any like signature threats that we could be looking for either. I have a little bit less know-how about Vici Gaming here, but
IG has when IG were playing well, it was kind of a 2-3-4, as in like their mid off lane and the forward position would go and dictate the tempo of the game. That's when they look their best. So Warlock is obviously a Q staple hero that kind of fits into that. The Kunkka fits into playmaking as well, and then they'd either have like some kind of big ult from the reposition or Legion Commander for faster pace and a more tempo. So I'm not sure if they go back to that style. They've been experimenting with a lot of different things. We've seen them go more in the wombo combo direction, almost look a little bit like OG at some points. We've seen them pick Death Prophet a lot, so this is a hero that, not surprisingly, to see VG banning out. It's been one of the more dependable mid heroes. And then I don't think they've played much Lina since the Lina nerfs to the talents. It's kind of fallen off a bit for them because that Lina playstyle was a bit distinct. Like they called OP like was it well, OP's self-given name is the Marine, so they called him the Medic for a little bit because he was playing that Bloodstone Lina, going in, suiciding and healing Burning, and they also called him Royal Guard, keeping Burning alive. So he hasn't really played that style of Lina as much.
Well, he's kind of stopped playing it, and then the hero got further nerfed because everyone else was still playing it, where like his early game, his spells don't do as much damage, his level 25 talent's not as good, so Lina has really been hit hard by the nerf stick. But it's going to be a puck pickup for Vici Gaming. Do you think it's more likely going to be the mid laner, given Vici's kind of history, an Ori hero?
Yeah, it's almost certainly going to be Ori, and most likely Yang with the offlane Earthshaker as well.
Earthshaker's been, I was looking through the numbers, the kind of success story of this tournament. It's been picked 15 times and 73% win rate. So as far as high volume of games and high number of wins, this is definitely probably the hero at #1 right now.
Yeah, he's well, again, not to make a pun, but he's a beefy offlaner. He offers initiation and control, good amount of damage, and then he's just a nightmare to try and zone out. You're basically not going to be able to do that unless you can contest deep into the jungle. And so obviously he's able to block, he's able to fissure block the creeps, even block it into a pole camp if necessary with a pole. So just a very difficult hero to stop from getting what he needs. And there aren't too many offlaners necessarily that fit that requirement that also like scale decently well. So it's been a pretty solid choice.
We'll see if IG decide to go right into what could be their opposing mid laner or not, now that you have the advantage to see that the puck is going to be on one side. Now they'll move into a Bat Rider pickup, it looks like here. You know, you have an Earthshaker and a Rubik on the other side. Both are okay. They have stuns and ways to stop the Bat Rider from getting that initiation, but it's not the best options that were out there. So, right, you get locked down, and for whatever safe laner they want to get, let's say, they have an option to be able to bring their victim closer to them.
It's not like the typical XXS hero that we were used to seeing during IG's prime. That was more like the big team fight, Magnus-oriented pickups, but we'll see maybe something more fast-paced for IG, where they're less cooldown dependent. And, well, Lifesteal is going to be picked up in response. This is, I mean, not really a counter pick for the Bat Rider, something that combos well with the puck. Something we've seen N play quite a lot of, but I think IG have got to feel like, oh, we've actually got a couple tools to deal with him with the Bat Rider Lasso, with the Warlock Ultimate. We have got some rage-piercing teamfight spells.
Yeah, it might also have been a deny pick in a sense. This is something that also was played very successfully by IG during their prime as well, and doesn't need too much to get online and start fighting. They're going to go with a Templar Assassin here, so I think that gives them a decent matchup and gives them scaling as well. So,
and very much a counter to the Lifesteal. And these four heroes, none of them deal with Refraction at all. So this is definitely, right now, on paper, a fantastic TA game that could theoretically just change all of a sudden by whatever the last pick's got to be. And I imagine Vici Gaming have to be thinking of what hero can actually pressure the TA early on. We've seen Earth Spirit used a bit. That's something that Amy, HYM, is, I think, maybe even his most played hero. He's incredibly good on, so maybe that's a consideration, but it's very risky because after the early game, you're not particularly effective against TA.
And Kunkka helps to restrict that mobility as well and not punish you for getting a little too frisky.
Yep. So Burning's hero left for IG, assuming he is still playing that carry role, as Jack mentioned he is most likely going to be doing so.
Yeah, what options are out there for Burning to be able to man fight in the Lifestealer? How's a Jug fare? How's a Troll fare? These are options that are out there.
Ooh, Razor would have been good, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Razor's good because nice and tanky. Jug seems decent. It's always been a good matchup versus Lifestealer. Doesn't kite him around as much, but just kind of holds his own.
The troll was the go-to during some of their better times as well. There is still a juggernaut, which seems to have pretty good answers to a lot of either like the lockdown or control of VG, which we haven't seen too much of, and they could also potentially go for the Ursa. Again, comes online a little bit faster. They have kind of a scaling mid. They want to hand those stacks and ancients too, so something a little bit more active out of the carry position. They do have a couple options left.
I feel like this would also be a dream Venno game. I haven't seen Burning play the safe lane Venno, but it's so good against Lifestealer. It's great against the Earthshaker for scouting him out. Like, this is an amazing Venno game, but maybe not something that Burning's going to feel confident playing. Also, like, given that you've got a Warlock kind of supporting you in lane, it's not like the most aggressive 5-position support. You maybe want a fairly self-sufficient safe laner, which is where Razor would have been really nice. They're banning the Venno because, again, not really a Burning hero, I guess. They're not something they want to pick.
They didn't really want it as a support either, or something that could potentially be used against them. You don't really want to see that as a Templar Assassin. It's quite an annoying hero to deal with.
They're going to play around the TA. Like, you've set this game up for a TA to just crush. It counters the Lifestealer. It's a decent lane matchup versus Puck. Neither of the other two picks are good against TA. They have nothing to break Refraction. Let's just make this TA become unstoppable, seems to be the general philosophy.
I hope they go with a faster timing pickup, like Jack was alluding to, something like the Ursa then, in that case. But
Wraith King, Burning Wraith King, that was another go-to for a while.
That'd be awesome.
I think that'd be a sick pick right now.
But I could see him just go with more traditional. Like
the Wraith King
Jug
AA
or
was kind of a
troll.
troll.
Makes me sad that that Batrider is not a Magnus for XXS, but still, good solid pickup. And like Jack was talking about, something that IG did find a lot of strong use with during their heyday period. And then to wrap things out, we got Enigma, so that's awesome. I'm excited a bit now. Okay, I'm a little excited. We get black holes and dunks and dream coils.
They wanted another farming hero. This is kind of good, I think. Very good at team fighting against TA and Troll, who kind of often want to get up in your face. So it's going to be theoretically a pretty good game for black holes, although Rock is going to make that a bit trickier. But definitely a hero that can kind of keep up in terms of farm. When you've got a Lifestealer, you kind of all in on winning with this Lifestealer, but now you've got a few other heroes that can keep up as well.
What draft do you like, Jack?
It's a nice wrinkle there at the end. That transitioning that Earthshaker to a support rather than an offlaner, and it's I think it is a pretty planned wrinkle. For the draft, I feel like I'm a little bit worried about Vici scaling. I feel like it has like the single core Lifestealer feel to it, and then often for Enigma, like you use it to control a lane, to push, but also to protect like a big core that has to be closed onto. So in the case of dealing with two melee cores from IG, I do like that aspect of it, but I'm a little bit worried about VG scaling. And they had that issue yesterday where they had a good start in lanes, the game that we did, but then they just really ran out of gas. So for VG, it feels a little bit more pigeonholed for them, and so I kind of like IG here.
I'm going to back IG as well. I think the issue with this support Shaker is the lanes are not going to be as strong. Like, this Batrider should be getting a lot out of his offlane, and Batrider is going to be a great tool to just find a bunch of pickoffs. And they've got this draft that you find a pickoff, you take Roche, you take objectives. TA Troll kill Roche incredibly fast. They kill towers very fast. I think there's little room for error for Vici Gaming.
Why run it down pretty deep, but it doesn't even have a ward. Whoops.
That may have been. I think he was meant to get pulled it, and Amy did not deliver.
Guys, where's the ward?
He TP'd faster than the Shaker could pass him over.
Well, they step off and come together, and maybe we'll make the best of it. Moving as a team down south. Also, IG have smoked up too. Kind of just taking over a bit of these watch post spots to see anyone possibly invading. They've already moved out and got a couple of wards down, both of them favoring more of the northern side of this map, it would look like. So,
blocking both the camps at bottom. This is against the Enigma. In the offlane, you always want to be able to pull, because Enigma's going to get the creep wave back to his tower by denying range creeps. You need your pull camps to kind of block that from happening. So good aggressive warding coming out from FY. We'll see if Q will guess correctly with his sentry ward placement.
But as far as the laning goes, looks pretty expected here. Ori to be on his puck in the mid lane. FY for now is floating around this bottom lane, but we'll see if he hangs around to ensure a solid start for the Enigma or not, because we have End and Amy up here in the top lane going to be joining hands. And in their matchup, they're going to be going against XXS on the Bat Riders. So yeah, you can't leave that Lifestealer alone too much with this Bat.
Yeah, I think both offlaners should have a pretty good time,
Yeah.
the Bat and the Enigma. The Enigma with the pulls blocked, the Bat just being in a pretty favorable 1v2 matchup against 2 melee heroes for now. Baboka's dance. He saw that ward, I think, because he's dancing on it like, okay, FY, I know where that is.
FY's Rubik set looks crazy right now. Why is he like shadowing out with all the illusions? Do you guys see that?
Yeah,
It looks like the ROTK Baden set a little bit. We're just
Yeah,
like
it's
shimmering.
totally
Looks like he's
crazy.
vaulting.
I think it's the gem on his staff. It's tagged as FY Fanboy Queuing. I'm guessing gifted by a fan with ethereal
Bleak
gem.
Hallucination.
I don't know. I think that's maybe a bug that he could actually get an ethereal gem in a 9 like that, because I don't think you're meant to be able to.
That is trippy. I've not seen that before. Very curious about that. For now, he's using that to kind of float around the mid lane a bit, but it's Ori under pressure. Baboka's been here as the +1 to that mid lane as he helps out the TA quite a bit. Yang, no surprise in this bottom lane, has the wave totally under his tower. There's no strong pull options there, but it does look like Q has been able to manage to at least get a hold of one of the camps to pull into the lane.
Here comes FY up top, recognizing this Bat is getting a lot of the lane. You want to kind of maybe just send 3 heroes up there to try and find a kill to deal with him, but this Bat's already got 2.5 as far as his levels go, so already at a pretty good place. Importantly for Q, he did manage to de-ward one of the 2 camps. So he has got that ability to pull it back his way.
Ooh, Enigma though still able to kind of get in there and look like he got the last hit on that jungle creep too. He's even getting some denies in. With all those Eidolons, he can do some good last hit work. Mid lane, FY with a haste rune has stepped in. He gets some good right click damage onto OP. No hard commitment yet for any sort of telekinesis setup. Amy though is now rounded the corner. It looks like they pinged him. Might have been spotted. They do have that ward on the opposite side of the river, so their positioning is going to be a bit lower, it looks like, in the lane.
See if he can get a good fissure block or anything off, but unless OP kind of presses forward.
Baboka's there. They do manage to get the fissure out. OP is stuck on the one side, but with refraction and not enough damage, it's not going to matter, it looks like. So Fiji will have to kind of split things out a bit. Not too successful on this first bit of mid lane pressure.
Yeah, they just their support deals so poorly with Rubik. You try and gank mid lane. If he's got refraction up, potentially even a second refraction, good luck killing him. Your fissure, your fade bolt are just going to be blocked by that. You can kind of lift him, pull him back in, but the puck also has a like kind of illusionary. You've got to right click him down to break refraction before you can even throw your spells. So this is near impossible here to gank.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the reasons people will hesitate on the Earthshaker support a little bit more. If he's getting farm and progressing towards that blink as an offlaner, you're fine with that. But if he's a support, it feels like you have to get a lot out of those fissures. Like you have to have kill potential in your lanes. Otherwise, he can very easily fall behind. And it's going to be hard for them to kill any of these lanes. Obviously, the Bat Rider can just firefly his way over any fissure block. For mid, with refraction up, it's going to be hard to get damage through onto OP. And then bottom with the Enigma, that's a hero that's going to want to be farming as well. And really doesn't have that much early kill potential either. So the Earthshaker feels a little bit awkward at this point because he's not pulling and he's not really a threat to set up kills anywhere. So it's kind of like an awkward combination, even with the FY Rubik roaming around.
This laning stage is... It already feels it's going to continue to feel just incredibly passive because, like you say, the Earthshaker can't do anything.
Yeah.
They've got 3 cores that just want to kind of... I mean, Puck doesn't mind getting a bit aggressive in his lane, but the problem is the hero he's up against. If he's against a Lina or a Quap, something squishier, there's kill potential, but TA, good luck killing this hero.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw Amy go to the top lane, do an enchant totem, hit Bat Rider once, and come back mid. It's a sad life right now. He's just running back and forth. But bounty runes, that's my saving grace. That's
there
it.
we go.
That's where the money's at, boys. Grab it. Hell yeah.
Perhaps if the support stuck to... I think because of how weak they are individually, they need to stick together at level 1. Like three heroes top, try and prevent Bat getting his level 2. But now that Bat's level 4.5, you definitely can't do anything to him. So it was almost one of those things where they needed to stop him earlier from getting those levels.
Committed in with the Firefly already. Maybe if they throw him back and lock him down just enough. They might be able to finish him off here. FY is going to need lots of more peppering damage, but the wand gets popped and XXS just flies away.
It's going to try, and FY is going to try and camp it maybe. Don't think he can kill him though.
I see you hitting the showers, and I will take my leave.
Yep.
But I just wanted to peep in on it. Little pervert. Bottom lane Enigma still, you know, strutting his stuff here. He is about to be level 5. So while there seems like there is a lot going for XXS and he's hitting his level 5, so is Yang down here.
Yep. I think it's more normal for Enigma and expected for an Enigma to get farm and CS. Enigma not getting farm is useless. A bat can be shut down and pressured, whereas it's literally kind of impossible to do so against these denying offliners, the Enigma and less pick the Lich. But still, yeah, of course. Good news is that Yang is getting his farm and level 5, maybe around level 6 he calls for a gank, but it still feels like there's damage issues. Rubik Earthshaker, you ask them to come gank your lane at level 6, they actually don't provide much damage output. So unless Puck is TPing in, I don't think they can actually kill the troll.
A little bit of a tussle here on the bottom half of the river between supports as they fight over for the runes. Baboga will be able to snag up the illusion rune there. And FY will join the side of Ori for now. But yeah, the kill potential, we'll just have to see how much they're gonna have of it. They have some tools like the coil being up, but yeah, it's just a matter of how much burst do they have to kind of follow that up with. From these supports, it just doesn't seem like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, and you can just see them kind of steadily falling behind. Like, they haven't really benefited from the pulls as Q has been able to on the Warlock. He's almost level 5 right now. Just shy of 7 minutes into the game. FY still level 2. Earthshaker, HYM is just got level 4. So, pretty tough position for them. And that affects them both coming into the mid game. Like, obviously, like, they kind of both want items. They would both like to have a blink as soon as possible, if not levels as well. And, you know, where's that gold going to come from?
See how they look to take this game. It may just turn into a farm war for Vici Gaming, at least, where they just go Midas Enigma. It's pretty standard. Lifestealer for now looks to be going for an armlet, not the Midas. He wants to fight, maybe go for some early invest bombs. Won't really have a good vehicle until the Puck gets a Blink Dagger, perhaps. And here we go. First smoke move. Vici Gaming heading bottom, wanting to fight with what I can imagine is going to be the Black Hole. Enigma just about to hit level 6 from this neutral camp. This is the timing as mentioned. He gets level 6, you kind of want to gank. Actually, Enigma's going to head mid. It looks like this 3-man gank is going to be self-sufficient.
Move in, Baboka is there, eats the Enchant Totem. Fissure follow-up will connect onto him and to Q. Ori hits him with the Rift Orb. That will get the finish and your first blood at just about 8 minutes in. Now the Coil going to get committed as they make the setup for Q. Is the follow-up there, though? They want it. Orbing in. Q tries to sidestep it. He hides without the trees. He gives himself the heal. It's enough to survive. One more right-click. And now he takes to the trees, trying to hide inside. They get the Torque connection. Now Burning looking to move in, and it's going to be Puck who's going to have to escape. Ori and FY on the run as Burning is tomahawking his way through the trees. Can he find the Puck? There he is! And he can't quite get any sort of RNG, but
it was so close. Really well played by Warlock and Kunkka. The Warlock juking and the Kunkka hitting that torrent. Burning just couldn't quite find him. If he'd waited with the whirling axes, would have maybe had the damage after finding the Puck later on.
So what do you think, Jack, with that first smoke gank movement from Vici? They do manage to get the 1 kill, but are they happy with that? Or do they want more? Is that okay for now?
As God said, that they did a great job of minimizing the damage to IG. Obviously, like, as soon as the ult comes online for Ori, he's able to go make things happen, which is in contrast to the TA, who's going to spend a little bit more time farming and not necessarily controlling tempo. So it was nice that they got the first blood, but they didn't get a kill on the core troll, which, you know, the troll feels a little bit defenseless at this point, and it's like an ideal target. You definitely need to get that. End up only getting 1 kill out of a fairly big rotation. So if you're IG, I think you're okay with the damage control that was done during that time. Gave
Big
your team
ancient
more
stack
time to farm.
being worked on by the TA. Problem is, there is a ward scouting it out, so will not be gone on for now.
This was the nice value bit of intel that Vici did drop at the start of that smoke movement towards the bottom lane. So good anticipation that the TA would be doing stacks.
And these freaking Prowlers with their HP regen auras.
Oh, it's all back full again, huh?
Yeah.
That is rough. And there's a bunch of golems in there making it even bit more girthy.
Yep.
TA is going to have to wait for the right window of opportunity to be able to move there and finish it off.
That's the nightmare stack. You didn't get any of the little...
Black hole can be committed. Q, though, not level 6, can't drop a rock to cancel it out, so Burning is just going to be, you know, sucked away into the hole, into the galaxy, gone forever.
I think VG Gaming understand how they're going to lose this game if they're not proactive. The Ancients being farmed up, TA getting massive, and not using this black hole to like kill the troll. Like, so they're like, all right, let's take some early towers, kill this troll, use black hole actively, and stop this TA from getting Ancients.
Looks like they will also get a +1 in Baboka after Ori's able to rotate over. They do get the jump onto the little pirate man as he hides between the trees. Now it's going to be turning into a +1 tower takedown. VG getting a lot through the early game, but that is, well, as we've all been talking about, what they must do.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just mandatory for them. And again, we see this Radiant versus Dire theme all the time, where Dire has a pretty good time collapsing into the Radiant jungle, and so whether it's warding the stack or contesting it, that's going to be something to watch out for. They're able to get that tower pretty quickly and pick up a few kills. So it's, you know, again, the kind of start that VG definitely needs, but over the next 5 to 10 minutes, we'll see if they can sustain that. We'll see if and when IG decides that they want to hit back, because the Bat Rider's gotten a pretty good start. He has his Blink Dagger up already, so we could see some kind of smoke rotation out here, or a counter ganking as he's just waiting to defend the jungle, and that's part of him being able to have that good start up top.
Bottom lane, that's where they do decide to make their hit. It's only going to be on FY, though, so that is your Blink Dagger debut on the Bat Rider. Getting a good little Rubik pick.
Not the best, but Rubik is not even level 5 at 12 minutes. So, you know, take what you can, get up, get a kill for your core, for Burning, get a little bit more space down there, and then that gives them a chance to establish their own vision and deward a little bit too. VG have to back off without the black hole as well, and with Rubik down. So that does allow them to establish some counter vision here in their own jungle.
Doing a good job just, preventing TA taking those Ancients. Lifesteal's still ahead of TA, which is not normally what you'd expect at this point, with TA kind of going somewhat uncontested farming, but did get a bit unlucky with that Ancient stack, and also just being pressured as well.
Still hasn't been able to go there and even do the Ancient stack either.
Even that's the thing, it's not just the fact that it's contested, but it's the camps he got. That is like the worst possible composition. No Thunder Lizards, those are like the camp you just want to see there for days. You don't mind some dragons too much, but the HP bonus with the HP regen is just miserable right now.
The stacking is also very interesting for the Kunkka, because you saw he spent a lot of time near mid. If Kunkka torrents at 57 seconds, basically as soon as the clock hits 57, he's able to stack that camp like to an incredible degree. I think you can get like 10 to 12 stacks, if not more, without having the level 25 talent or anything like that, just with torrent alone, as long as you do it at the precise timing. And so with that helps him get more value out of the stacks as well, and he can still be a presence while also stacking the camp.
Ooh, Q is trying to help protect that stack by doing a bit of D-ward, but already rotating in is going to be VG Gaming. FY going to get sucked on back from the X. Burning will be able to chomp him on down. Ori's going to be forced to orb to the low ground, then quickly blinks to the other side of the river, and also potentially to be here getting in on the action. Around the corner, we have Yang with a black hole good to go, but it looks like this fight may fizzle out.
Yep, they got both Observer Wards with 1 sentry there, so all vision denied and taken away. Puck's going to just throw some orbs, see if they're actually going for the Ancients, and now we'll see OP. Level 12 has a Blink Dagger, is going to try and finally bring this one down.
He's got Elf infested in him too, so here comes the bomb.
Yeah, quick jump in, quick execution there of Baboka as the cores were tackling onto that stack. Now they move into mid lane, but yeah, stuck within his own fissure, and now the rock going to get committed into the mid lane. It hits Vici hard and where it hurts, and they're going to be losing both End and Amy.
That fissure was just very unfortunate, a bit unlucky with the placement. Lifesteal was just kind of trapped against some trees in the fissure and couldn't bring it down. Burning's going to help OP out. I think OP's like, guys, I need some help.
Oh, hit that shrine. Holy moly, man.
This is
not blink when you're inside the mass of that stack.
That's got to feel bad if you're Elf. They brought him in there, as we see there's X on the bottom, so they're likely going to get a kill onto Yang as well. That was one of those, like, they parachuted the guy in, but they didn't have an extraction plan for him where he kind of got stuck. And yeah, that's really unfortunate, because that's his first infest bomb of the game. His momentum has to keep going forward. Like as the Chinese would say, his tempo cannot be broken this game. He needs to keep getting items and keep winning fights for them to have a chance as a single core lifestealer. That death is just really bad for them. And IG have successfully managed to protect their jungle resources, which is like the main checkbox of the first 15 minutes of the game.
Yep.
Like even if they end up losing this section of jungle now because they know that the Blink Dagger is now up on the puck and they know that End has his armlets ready to fight, that's still okay because I feel like they've gotten enough out of it. And then also, the other point for VG is they don't have that much in terms of objective taking or tower pressure, and so if IG feel they can't fight, they can go elsewhere and be able to split push out or take farm on the other side of the map with the Blink Dagger up now and feel relatively safe about doing so.
Here come Vici wanting to fight while that Warlock ultimate is down.
Oh, XXS is just there. The jump in. They grab him with the telekinesis, with the coil. Babo coming out from Baboka. That run could help out quite a bit. It looks like it's going to be good enough. Big Fatal Bonds connection, and now Burning sweeps into action. Able to get the finish off onto FY, and they're going to get the follow-up onto Ori. Double kill, both of it going to Burning. Huge, huge momentum there for IG. All of them just now at the right place at the right time.
Once again, Bat just casually flies over the fissure. There aren't really blinks or anything else up on VG supports, not for a long time, and then Burning just comes in and collects off of that, and that's... Yeah, Burning has been the recipient, the beneficiary, so to speak.
You are pleasing the Emperor. Jump in from XXS. It looks like they've spotted out Yang here. And he will just get roasted up.
Those deaths are pretty costly. You get this super, well, not even super farm. You get this farming Enigma who is higher level and more farm than most offlaners. And at this stage, dying around the 15-20 minute mark, you're dead for a bit longer, you're giving up more gold, and it's something that adds up as IG get further and further ahead with their early game. This is even really before their peak timing. They're going to hit that point where they've got Deso on TA as well as Troll having his first big item, maybe the BKB after his Yasha Vlads, and that's where IG can take Roshan and really start to dominate, and they're actually winning the game before they get their items up.
Just think about how, if you're from the Lifestealer's perspective, just think about how hard this game is for him to play. He has to balance farming with time spent as part of an Infest Bomb. He has to be able to get pickoffs. When he's actually fighting the two cores of IG, he has to, say, not get lassoed, he has to fight through Warlock Rock, he has to rage at the correct time so he's not controlled by either Kunkka or Upheaval, and then there's the Troll whirling axes that can make him miss, there's the TA's Refraction, which has to be down for him to actually hit her. It is just like a Rubik's Cube of difficulties for this Lifestealer, and things have to go so well, and this is quite the opposite. VG has really struggled with this early game, so this one is looking very tough for them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're this Lifestealer, you see your team, and you're like, well, I'm my only real damage output. I'm my only late game. Meanwhile, his team's probably also like, come fight, come infest. We got to go stop this TA from farming. And he's like, well, this better work because if it doesn't, we're kind of screwed because that's our late game out the window since I'm not farming.
Ready to fight some more is going to be IG. They have Q's Rock ready to go, and guess what? A double damage for OP. With that Blueberry Rune, why not move in and go for the Roche? Doesn't seem like anybody's around, so IG take two. And with the Troll ulti, Roche really does not stand a chance.
DD, Deso, Troll ult. Good luck trying to fight into that one too when you don't have the best vision. Bat can grab you, Warlock can ulti you. It's a lost cause. And you talk about this Lifestealer problem, Jack, it's only going to get tougher. There's 4 stuffs coming. Bat Rider almost has his. Warlock has one queued up. Theoretically, TA could go one if she really wants, though I don't think it's really necessary. This is just going to be a nightmare of a Lifestealer game. Yeah,
we were only talking about the things that stop him from dealing damage. We weren't even talking about the fact that he still actually has to win man fights against the TA or the Troll. The Troll loves to man fight melee heroes. That is his forte. So even if he manages to get through all of that, and there's Disable for him, he's still got to be able to win a fight, and that's just looking like a very tall order at this point.
And now his teammate, the Puck, brings out a Midas, so I think VG Gaming recognizing late game is maybe more where they are headed right now, but Lifestealer with an Armlet Halberd build is probably thinking, man, I should got Midas myself. This is... We're not on the same page right now if you're in the VG Gaming shoes. Problem is, you also can't really fight. You can maybe find pickoffs, but fighting into the full IG squad with Warlock Ultimate, Aegis at this stage is just not really all too feasible.
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare there. IG, though, they are scratching out of Tier 2. It's OP in particular. They have this Aegis, so they're confident to kind of take it to VG's side. They will earn their reward in a Tier 2 tower. And let's see what they do with their time here while the trade is happening. VG Gaming get their own Tier 2, it looked like. At first, the TP was coming, but looks like they'll cancel it. So Lifestealer continues to wait inside puck during this, though. So they're not getting active farm on their supposed late game insurance policy. He's out now, though.
We'll look to continue a little bit, but he's going to kind of remain behind this TA troll and just spending less time actually actively farming. So many things to do with him. Perhaps they look more to the Puck to an Enigma. I mean, Puck and Enigma are going to at least maintain farm. They both got Midases. Enigma gets that cooldown reduction to go with the Midas. Puck, if you ever do dare get to level 25, obviously gets a ton of GPM, but I think for Vici Gaming, they probably, maybe they don't realize it themselves, but the feeling I'm getting is like this is just going to come down to defending your high ground, turtling for like some super late game, crazy state of the game, because their early to mid game is looking incredibly weak going up against IG.
Yeah, FY looks like he's going to go for the drums again. The Earthshaker is nearing his blink, so we're looking at, if assuming he doesn't die, a 22, 23-minute blink. And Enigma has picked up the blink as well. So it is definitely not a good sign for VG that we haven't even seen like a blink initiation from Puck with the Dream Coil for some time. I don't recall the last time I even saw the Dream Coil used, so they've basically entirely sacrificed the kind of Infest Bomb tempo, and now they're playing for this a timing where they have the blinks up and then say they can get a good wombo combo out. It's entirely dependent on that.
Good snag
so
onto Amy, and yeah, like you're saying there, Gods, that blink is going to have to wait a little bit longer. XXS is feeling frisky. Does he want to blink on into some action here? He's leading out the charge. There's the force. There's the blink. He's looking for FY. Is he too far from his friends, though? Oh, yeah, FY turns around. He's only going to get a hold of the sticky stuff. Eventually, he gets pulled to the Emperor. The Prince gets beaten by the Emperor. And Coach ROTK just laughs, the concubine in the background. This pleases me. That's how I imagine it's going.
Yeah, everything working. They just took 3 towers. I think the top tier 2, they took both of the bottom ones. They're going to take a 4th tower while getting kills. This is like the perfect way to use a first Aegis at this stage. Like when you get that 15 to 20 minute Aegis, there's still a lot of towers up. You're not really expecting to go to high ground, but you gain complete utter map control. You take every outer tower, you get a few kills along the way, and your opponents are just scared to fight you. So all they can do is split push, farm wherever you're not, and they're just not keeping up in terms of farm because of that.
Well, it does look like they got a couple of BKBs now in IG, so they are like impossible to kill, it would feel like. But it does look like that. Wouldn't that say that IG are probably going to be looking to close things out sooner than later, just going right in for the BKB?
Probably look for a team fight with a smoke, maybe any time now they've got BKBs, but then I think realistically the high ground ending push that could happen is coming with second Roche, if everything goes according to the script. But if
they can do what IG have done, or EG rather, the other G team, you know, just one of those suddenly, oh, they want to fight, oh, the game's over, okay, well, next game.
EG Gaming trying to rewrite that script. They've smoked up as the Aegis expires, looking for an initiation off of the Shaker Blink. They'd love to get a Blink Echo on one of these BKB heroes, but IG, as soon as they recognize they're weak without Aegis, they're smoking, which makes them stronger because they have that surprise vision factor where you can't see them and they may get a jump on you. So they're kind of responding to the fact they don't have
They are
Aegis.
close. They are close to catching Vici. There's Yang. There's Ori. Ori, whoa, nice quick timing. Able to get off the rift. Able to sidestep it.
Got the X.
They do get the X. The grab on the Enigma. The pullback of Yang. Can they take down the Galaxy Man? Oh, jump it from Amy! With the Lifestealer Bomb, they just blast down Burning. Almost able to get a hold of XXS. Elf now. Gonna get hit with the Fatal Bonds here. OP takes to the fight. They do manage losing the Bat Rider. It makes it a 2-for-1 trade. Amy on the run trying to hide within the trees. He's got the Lifestealer in his backpack, but they get slammed with the Chaotic Offering. And now it's going to be N trying to fight his way out for this one. Look at that. FY steals the rock, drops it down himself. OP hiding in the meld. Looks like he might be safe, but not the same for Baboka. It's IG crumbling under this fight. A wonderful turnaround from Vici Gaming, it would appear. Baboka, though, still holding on? Nah, they got him. Only OP will survive.
Okay, those Blink Echoes Don't get a chance to use a BKB, you can win the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say that about BKB. So the Enigma, obviously, if he sees an opportunity for Black Hole, cares not about your BKBs. And then the Earthshaker with the instant initiation also doesn't care. So a couple of things there. I think there's a choice made by the Batrider XXS to go onto the Puck instead of the Enigma. I think if they get the Enigma there, it's an easy kill, and that fight just ends. But he did make an interesting choice going on the Puck. The Puck
I don't think he
managed to
saw the
react fast
Enigma.
enough.
The Bat's vision doesn't maybe see the Enigma there. I'm not 100% sure. Like, I think the Enigma sees the Bat, but perhaps Bat doesn't see Enigma.
And then for burning, so like they were a little bit separated because they're kind of running up on the side, and because of that separation, like the other heroes aren't there necessarily to back burning up, and then burning's got to be careful as we see Lasso here on
Yep.
to the
Quick telekinesis though. Glimmer does come out. However, the boat on forward. Tower does go down.
We saw it last fight. This Halberd pickup is destroying the TA. Got reduced to 5 seconds from 5.5 on ranged heroes, but that's still a very strong item to have against OP.
There's heads-up play from Vici though, because Burning didn't BKB. He probably assumed that Yang would just be left for dead, given in such a compromising position. So Vici saw that opening and managed to just quickly blow him up, which is like, again, that was kind of like the ideal fight for them. So a nice execution there if that BKB gets used, or if it's a fight where they're a little bit more clear on each other's positioning, which is easier for the Radiant to do. Like, look at what IG have. They have deep wards up. Well, a couple just expired, but they have a deep ward up dire side. Plus, they have all these traps, so you have some idea of where they're standing. You have some idea of if the Earthshaker is able to come in with a good initiation, you can BKB at the right time and just take away so much of that damage output and burst potential.
Well, this game gets a lot more interesting now that the BKB Black Hole is there, the Blink on Shaker, and if Vici Gaming can keep up some momentum before IG maybe get another Roshan, or if you stop that Roshan, then suddenly you're looking at a much more competitive game.
Well, Vici smoke, they head down to the bottom half of the map. They're not going to find anything. Then they dish out a scan. That finds nothing. And it was IG on the total other side of the map.
I still think going back to that big fight bottom, the thing I didn't see what happened, but I don't think Q was smoked up with the team because they didn't have that Warlock Rock to save Burning. Theoretically, that's in a full-on 5v5 fight, that's where you drop the rock. Burning, he can at least BKB. He may get down fairly low, but he should be able to like BKB run away. But that was not the case in that scenario.
Back to the bottom here for Vici. Gotta be feeling a lot more confident. They got their Echo Slam up. Already talked about the BKB Black Hole that's at their ready now. But it's IG who now smoke.
They saw Roche. I'm not sure if they're going to just smoke straight into Roche.
Probably.
Bypass some wards, which aren't even there, or if they're going to look for a kill first.
Ah, it looks like the latter.
They see 2 heroes on the map now. They see everyone. They have a ward bottom that sees 2 heroes. They saw 1 hero in mid. They know they are 100% safe going for this Roche. And they put the trap on the shrine.
Easy Aegis here for IG.
Yep.
Alright.
Cheese on Burning. I think the cheese is fine because if he gets saved when he gets Blink Echoed, he can at least get the cheese off this time and turn and fight. The big thing is just making sure he does get saved with the Warlock Rock or a Glimmer Cape. Some kind of tool needs to be used on him.
And the itemization from BG2, so you have the Linking Sphere and the Puck, kind of a defensive item, or maybe to aid the Lifestealer. Lifestealer went Halberd, second item. So this is a game where you could see a Lifestealer maybe go for a Midas, knowing that he has to fight but keep up his farm at the same time. He didn't go for that route, and then instead of getting more damage, something like, say, a Desolator, even MKB, Echo Saber, something like that, he opts to go for the Halberd second. And so the scaling and the growth potential of the Lifestealer is pretty much entirely hinges on their success in fights. It feels like he's going to get further and further behind, and at some point it's just not going to be enough.
Yep.
So with the blinks up, I feel like VG really need to make some plays here. But then right now they'd be fighting into an Aegis cheese. So
that Lifestealer issue is reflected in his net worth. His own teammates are both ahead of him. The Puck and the Enigma, that's not really the ideal ranking for your cores, but at the same time it's kind of hard to prevent because of his Lifestealer's build and the fact that the Midases are on those other core heroes.
This is going to be tough for IG. They have the Aegis now, but the approach to the Vici base is just going to be tricky. We already saw the team fight potential there for Vici. They have Blinking Echo and Black Holes. Just a ridiculous amount of high ground defense. But You do have a Batrider on IG's team. I mean, is that your best tool for kind of breaching into the high ground? Is doing some sort of extraction play? Like, what are the strengths for IG on being able to close things out here? Oh, dunk. Straight on for OP here. And a black hole. If they don't get the kill, this is going to be way too heavy of a commitment. And already it's only going to be for the Aegis.
Can they push with this, though? It's still... I guess without the Blink Echo, that burst potential isn't there. Like, you're more guaranteed to be able to get your blinks off because Totem, you can't, like, blink in Totem because there's a cast time on it. And it looks like they are running directly towards mid.
This is a moment where I feel like the Enigma and the Earthshaker go back to their friends like, guys, we may have used both of our big ultimates. We may have used our ultimates on TA, and she had an Aegis. I'm just going to give you the heads up that they're coming, and they're angry. We don't have big spells anymore.
And what did you get in exchange for these?
Nothing,
an
Emperor.
Aegis,
nothing, Emperor. I'm sorry. My prince. Here comes IG, and now you do not have those big fighting spells. What are you going to do, Vici?
I'll try and keep them out. Spam those AoE nukes. Spam that Fade Bolt Fissure combo.
Midnight Pulse in a good choke point spot. Very good. We still have Ori. We have the coil. And OP does not have that extra life. Okay, he's taking a lot of tower damage. They're able to lift him up, pull him back into the coil. He pops the BKB, but here comes Q's Rock, dropping right onto the top of End. But End is able to shrug it off, walk back and away. Still TA lives. Nice follow-up lasso, pull back right into the arms of Burning. Burning beginning to chop away onto End. Still can't get the finish, though. He's able to jump into the back of the puck blinking out now. Can't find a follow-up. IG don't lose anybody, but they're not able to successfully siege, even with the black hole and the dunk.
Yeah.
Both on cooldown.
They're just positioning really well. That's the thing, even without those ultis, they've still got so many other good AoE defending spells. The ability to clear waves using Fade Bolt, Puck Nukes. Midnight Pulse on the high ground is very risky to push into. It just does so much damage if you just sit inside of it. So
let's not forget the stolen Warlock Rock with a Lincoln Sphere on him. So just clearing the waves and hitting right back. Yeah, they don't have the best high ground in terms of sieging, but it's one of those, like, if they take a fight outside and you die, they have the troll. So you just, in the TA, you just end up losing 3 lanes for the next lost fight. So it is a nice hold there from VG. A bit difficult for them to just straight up walk onto high ground and siege even without their big ults. And you're fighting into a fissure as well. So.
Now they smoke with their ultis back up.
Yeah.
You hold like that and...
Ooh, XXS, he will take the gank, it looks like. Oh, or not. Oh, yeah, or will. Did get a blink away, but they chase him.
Dubious initiation from Amy. But hey, it works.
Well, he did dunk. I didn't hear the dunk, but I saw it, so I was kind of confused.
He walked into bat. By the time he like didn't react for like a full second almost, I want to say, and then he's like, oh crap, he's going to blink away, I should dunk. And then
Spazzle, I think is what we call it.
Bat did blink away and dodged the dunk. You shouldn't be too worried about Bat blinking away because you can always blink after him and then fissure him. I guess Bat had the BKB. That's where the danger of missing that kill was a very real one.
All right, and Vici on that move. Get the pick, get a tier 2, maybe get more. OP does manage to TP away, and Q has also found a nice little closet to TP out from. They avoid the trouble of Vici.
All right, this game's going late game, and Enigma late game is definitely a scary hero to have to verse. For IG not getting any value out of that second Aegis and Cheese is a big problem for them.
And Burning is all about this damage now. He's going for MKB, which seems to be nearly complete, considering he'll probably save a bit for the buyback. So he's the big damage dealer here. No denying that. And even with the Bloodthorn now done for OP, they have the firepower. I'm just, you know, one BKB enough? Are these guys strong enough to survive all this ridiculous AoE ult and power from Vici as the game continues to go on?
Yeah, we'll
BKBs get, you know, shorter and shorter. They got them so early in the game.
I think they're hoping that as long as they initiate, they can just burst down the hero they go on. They got a lasso on the Lifestealer, but they couldn't actually kill him. He was too tanky with the evasion plus armor from AC. He just survived the entire lasso with Troll hitting him. And I think that's where Troll's like, BKB is enough survivability if I can kill during it. So with an MKB, if he had an MKB in that fight, he probably does finish off the Lifestealer of Elf. So
The Life Stealer is also itemized to kind of be durable and a bit harder to kill. So I think in those fights, although they didn't really have a choice like sieging into a bottleneck, they want to be going for the other targets. They want to get rid of the big control first. As we see up top, Bloodthorn being used. They're going to try to find FY here.
He dodged that first strike, but OP's still able to kind of get close enough to him. And we'll get the finish. FY makes him work a bit for it, though. And we'll allow the escape of the other VG member there.
So if VG's control is dead, then there's just no way that Lifestealer wins the remainder of the fight. But if they do initiate onto Lifestealer, he ends up absorbing spells, opens the way for counter initiation, and they can't just kill him with the burst. As you mentioned, Gods, with the BKB timings, then it does create a bit of a window for VG. So their keys here, don't fight into the bottleneck, even if you have a bit of an edge. Try to take a fight outside and try to pick off the big control if you can first. Like if they manage to get on this Enigma somehow, or the Puck, or even the Earthshaker, I think that'd be huge for them. Go a long way towards ensuring their victory in the ensuing fight.
And even in those scenarios where, let's say, they have Aegis Cheese and they're like, oh, we should maybe siege, I think their philosophy in sieging should be jump as early as possible, because you need to take out those, like, a Midnight Pulse. Kill an Enigma, no more Midnight Pulse to worry about. Kill a Puck, kill a Shaker. You need to just jump with Bat the second you can find or see a hero. I think there needs to be not this, like, the Chinese high ground slow siege is just you send your carry up there with Aegis, he does 200 damage, he backs off, next creep wave he does another 200 damage. I don't think that works this game. I think you actually have to take some risk and go for those kills.
Well, what we see now, though, is probably IG waiting out a bit for the Roche to come up.
Yes.
Close to 2 minutes before they'll be able to move in and get that extra life. But they're not about kind of crossing the river and trying to take action without having that bit of security.
Burning's getting scarier, gets his plus 40 damage at level 20. I thought he was actually going to go for the health. It's a lot of health, but at the same time it's also it's a decent amount of damage. And we kind of talked about, touched on earlier, why he wants the MKB, just making sure you can kill a hero that gets lassoed and maximizing your damage output in BKB. Getting extra health is not going to... You're not going to die in that BKB with the health talent or no health talent, so he just wants to get the most out of what is currently a 9-second BKB.
They're also going to have a halberd soon on Baboka. Which might be pretty helpful.
I'm helpful. Yeah, I think Lifesteal's not doing that much right-click damage in these fights. He's kind of more the frontline tank, and it's actually more magic damage coming out, but there's nothing wrong with it. I think at the same time, Lifesteal will continue to farm and get some items.
I know it doesn't offer a lot for black holes and dunks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see if it...
I don't think there's an obvious, like, better item.
Yeah.
Or something that could be like, oh, this is what Kunkka should really get this game.
The Agnums could push everyone away, I guess. They get a black hole. Just get away from my team. Push them all away. How much time we got? Roche? Seconds now. Trap's already there. So they will know it's about to spawn. Vici are already looking in. Ori happens to notice something's happening here, but oh, they move in ahead of time, and they found Amy. Mr. Dunker.
They both BKB'd for that. They were very worried about a counter initiation. I'm not sure that was totally necessary, but they had seen the Puck, and that's why they were worried about that counter initiation. Because they knew Puck was there, they saw the Shaker Rupik, they're like, wait, this is actually 5 heroes. Let's be careful about this.
This Aegis belongs to Burning, it would look like. Pretty effortless takedown.
Yeah, first Aegis he's grabbed instead of OP. But I think we're at this point where this TA is pretty self-sufficient.
She has 4K gold, lots of money. What do you get next on this TA?
Not sure. Question.
You can go. I would get something a little bit. She might go for like a butterfly or something, but I think even like a satanic, something like that would be helpful. I mean, she gets a little bit tankier. She's harder to burst down in that time, and she has a second life that you're basically not going to be able to chew through without your ults or a control. So something like that, I think, would be a solid choice.
Grab for end, pull back. FY jumps in, trying to help out, but he gets hit with a torrent as he does the lasso pullback on for Burning. Follow up from Ori, gets the coil onto Burning as well with XXS still trapped outside. That seems to be the end of this trade.
Freaking FY Rubik, man. This guy's something on this hero.
Good jump in from him, able to kind of bail out his core in need.
that saves his teammate there by stealing that lasso and just jumping in, lassoing, and then buying some time to get out. It wasn't like looking for a kill. It was just looking to save his buddy.
He's got a 4 staff, so he can kind of be a poor man's Batrider for his team now.
Important thing for IG is they've got this level 3 ulti on Batrider, so it's this short 60-second cooldown. They can look for picks very frequently. I think until you get level 18, Batrider's pace is a lot slower than it used to be, but it just feels like you can throw a lasso, you don't get a kill, well, it doesn't matter. Wait another 40 seconds and you've got another lasso ready to go.
And they do exactly that. They pop smoke, they got another lasso good to go. They didn't have to commit much of anything else in that last little trade, so they have plenty to work with as they cross all the way over. Ooh, those are illusions. No smoke pop. But it does look like Vici, yeah, have kind of scouted things out a bit, so they're already out of a good position. Oh! Lincoln's pop and lasso grab. Wow, nice. Quick heads up there from XXS once he spots Ori. And an X2.
Oh, he Yules.
Oh, Yules though.
Okay.
Man, Puck is so damn elusive. Just a regular little flying Houdini.
And there's just nothing you can do. Like, you get that lasso, but unless you burst him during the lasso, you actually can't kill him there. Like, Puck makes a nice... He uses all his spells and stuff. Like, he pushed his phase shift button, he pushed his Yules button. But end of the day, there was nothing IG could really do to get that kill. Unless they have Matt were there with TA, could have Boots have traveled in perhaps and then got the Orchid silence off. That would have maybe been the only thing. But even that, who knows? Puck could Yules it off and then try and blink away. Freaking Puck, man, what a hero.
All right, VG back together now. Hiding back inside, waiting for the possible approach of IG. Or Enigma, though, hanging around bottom.
It's just this, yeah, the Sita has failed miserably, so yeah, IG aren't even going to go for it. They're like, we actually need a pick. Let's go back. Let's just wait. Trying to force a high ground push, even with Aegis Cheese, has gone disastrously for us, so let's not try and do it too much.
Let's hurry up and wait. We'll see if, yeah, VG Gaming just overstepped their boundaries a bit into the vision of IG, and IG can take advantage of it, but I don't know if it's going to be that easy.
This game is tough. This late game Enigma with a 100-second cooldown on Black Hole is a lot shorter than it normally is. Puck is approaching that level 25. He's already hit a Zag Scepter, so he's got a way to actually deal with some of these BKBs. Troll often wants to chase with his. Well, you're going to have to stand still if you're in that Dream Coil.
All right, Burning begins to siege away. He's got that Aegis and the ulti. Then they make their move in, and they're able to easily burst through that first life. Now, can they just follow up with the Black Hole? They're not going for it immediately, but the coil will snap. Yang is waiting for that opportunity. There's the move in, there's the dunk. Opie trying to meld his way on forward. Yang still patiently waiting around. IG double back a bit, reposition. Ori's in on the action, and Yang has to bail out. Gets back inside. Ori, nice timing there, is able to blink off. No one goes down yet, except for Amy. The only takedown, but now looks like Baboka may be caught out on this one. Tries to go for the Glimmer, but it seems like they got the detection. Slowly chopping them apart. Now the move has been made. Batrider gets the grab on Ori, gets the pullback with the lasso. Is the burst going to be there? Doesn't look like it. He's able to shift out of this one once again. Ori orbs out towards the secret shop side, and he's going to be gone, while Vici again scamper away and inside.
Somehow all still alive. Just losing an Aegis there. Burning looked to be in such a dangerous position, respawning there on the high ground, but I think the good news is you have this Warlock Rock. We don't even see Q drop his ultimate in that fight because he's waiting for the Enigma.
Exactly.
His job has become cancel Black Hole. Typically you want to see Warlock, as soon as there's a good like 3-4 man Rock Fatal Bonds, you drop that, but he knows if he ever drops Rock, there's nothing to do with Black Hole. Burning, OP, these carries are going to get BKB Black Hole, fighters lost. So he's holding on to it, and I definitely think it's the only way you can play the Warlock at this point.
They're just Enigma and Warlock giving each other the stink eye in the fight the whole time. Waiting to see who's going to, you know, you going to use your ult, buddy? Huh?
The end result is neither does, because Enigma knows there's no point trying to ulti if it's going to get instantly cancelled. He's probably just telling his team, like, the Puck, try and find and kill that Warlock. If Puck or Lifestealer can kill the Warlock, then the fight's actually winnable, like for Vici Gaming. So the Warlock's actually one of the top priorities to kill because of that.
He's got a glimmer. Baboga's got a glimmer.
Yeah, it makes it hard
easy.
for the puck, but potential Dagon 5 coming out once Ori gets some more money. That's going to be like some burst damage to try and kill someone like a
Ooh,
Warlock.
smoke move in from IG onto the mid lane. Looks like they got the grab onto end. They get the pull back, and they quickly finish him off. 80 seconds without a buyback here. Ooh, this could be nice for IG. If they want to do something about it, they just pull up the BKBs. So we'll see if they quickly hustle their way down this mid lane or not.
Yep, looks like they are. Goes back to ferry the creep wave along, and they are charging forward.
Here they go. VG though, still got some good tools. We still got a black hole. The Echo Slam is also up. IG have a lot to work through here. Even though the Life Stealer is not going to be here for the defense, it's still a very meticulous approach. They'll put in Burning first though. He's got Cheese and Satanic. They try to block things out with the Fissure though. Jump in, burst through the wave, or back into base. Burning now caught on the other side of the Fissure.
So annoying. The Midnight Pulse, Malefice, all these spells being spammed on you.
20 seconds. Life Stealer will be back. They're almost able to finally get the finish on this tier 3. There it goes. Now the Raxes are exposed. Are AG going to be able to do any sort of structural damage? No. They'll pull off and take the easy money on the Shrines.
Looking pretty risky to stick it out. They weren't going to kill it fast enough. Next round of spells are about to come out with another Fissure, Malefice, Telekinesis, and that's where you get stuck.
It's been a very methodical and patient game. Like VG have done a good job. VG feels like they're almost like defending the Alamo here. That's the spirit, right? It's like it almost feels inevitable, but they're just barely holding them off each time. I think there's something positive to be taken from that. I think they put themselves in a very tough spot with the draft. They still have a chance in this game if they execute well, but that's got to be an encouraging sign for them. I think that they've gotten to this point, given some of the disparities that they have.
They can get a big setup here. Definitely would put them back in a pretty good position, but it seems like IG are already out on the other side.
What is interesting is because remember that that Medusa game earlier we saw, was it from LFY, I believe? Oh no, from LGD, where Ame goes for the utility items on Medusa, is the balance of heroes that you have in each game by role. So like how much control do you have, how much damage dealing do you have? That's like the most basic way to look at like how you split up the heroes. And so obviously like for like scaling physical damage, VG is running single core, but they have a ton of control on their other heroes. So it's basically 4 control with 1 damage. This contrasted with IG, and so what's interesting bringing up the Medusa is that Medusa basically started to fill kind of a control role in terms of having the Hex, the Orchid, and the Stone Gaze with Aghanims. The damage, she still did deal some damage, but she wasn't itemized really to do that. So you kind of wonder if the balance maybe shifts in this patch a little bit towards more control, and that tends to favor obviously certain offliners such as an Earthshaker instead of say a Zeus or something like that. So it's hard to just say, not from a situation-specific basis, but that's something that VG seems to believe in, at least with this draft and yesterday as well.
I mean, even like IG's Batrider's like it's all about the control, going for an Ag Scepter for that multi-hero lasso, or even just being able to lasso a Lincoln's Life Stealer, for example, by just lassoing like a creep next to him. Yeah, intent on using that initiation now. Fights in the open have always favored IG, and that's where there's yet to be a contested Roshan. We'll have to see if this could be the first.
Ooh, I like this positioning from XXS. He heads to the high ground area, moves in, sees FY. FY blinks away, though. BKB's already forced out. They frantically look to escape around to get a hold of something on the backlines. Burning caught within the coil. IG need to regroup at this moment, but look at Yang. Oh, man, he was waltzing on forward like, I have a black hole for you. But I can't get it.
What he's looking to do with this.
Oh, they're in the pit. Ori spots him out, gets the silence on both of them, jumps to the other side. That's where N makes the move. The black hole's going to be inside the pit, but no one's there at all to hold it in. So they can't quite get the finish yet. Now they just easily blast down the Enigma while everyone else is just stranded outside. IG just look to get a hold of anyone of Vici they can to pull them right back into their arms. And caught in the mix, looks to go on to Burning. Nice coil setup though from Ori, connects onto 4, and they can't pursue.
It's like the idea I mentioned. You got to kill or go on the Warlock or like stun him, silence him while you black hole the carries, but you've also got to find a way to do damage in that black hole.
Jump in. FY tried to be slick with that one, but could not get it. At this point though, he felt like it was necessary.
Not gonna walk over it, but yeah. It was a 2-man black hole on TA and Troll. That's like the ideal black hole in a fight, not getting cancelled, but you also need a Lifestealer hitting them. It looked like the Lifestealer was working on the Warlock, so it's this issue where you need a black hole in those carries while hitting them, but how's that going to work when you're fighting into Warlock? So you need to kill the Warlock, then reset and go for the black hole. You can't go on the Warlock while black holing them.
Unless they just all happily clump together for you. That's the ideal
5-man,
scenario, right?
yeah. Well, if it gets a refresher, use that first black hole on that Warlock. That's what I reckon, Jack. Let's black hole the Warlock, then you've got number 2. That's his next queued up item, but I think more likely what we'll see is he'll not care about his black hole being cancelled if he has a refresher. He'll just go for the black hole on the Troll, on the TA, and then he can refresh and do a second one after that Warlock cancels the first.
Yeah, it's become a very technical game, and you kind of see like the methodical choices made by at least IG and like many other Chinese teams as well, where it's kind of like step by step. We don't want to jump the gun. We want to play steady here, so you don't see any like too crazy stuff going on. They'll test the waters if they think they have an edge for going high ground, but they won't really force stuff or try to make any crazy plays to do it. So it's kind of a feature of many of these teams, and that makes the game go a little bit longer. You get to the next set of items that may start to change things a little bit once you start having, as you mentioned, 2 ults, refresher, BKB. It starts to make things look a little bit different, and the BKB duration's going down too.
Just doesn't feel like IG have that kind of big team fight ulti of their own that's going to suddenly get a refresher thrown in. I mean, Bat could theoretically get one, but I don't think that's really that big of a consideration. Warlock's not farming it. TA Hex, interesting little pickup. They want that insta disable, and something that could be used to jump someone like an Enigma. The silence not really reliable against these BKBs. The Manta style of Lifestealer was picked up as a counter to the silence. Here come IG once again.
Giving it another go. It's Burning. He's got an Aegis. Okay, lasso grab.
Enigma.
Pull back onto that Enigma, and they take him out. He does have a buyback, though. He quickly uses it. They catch the coil onto 2 to hold him within side. Here's End getting the grab onto XXS. It looks like they should be able to get the finish, and they do so. FY, look at this. Jumping to the low ground, looking to get on some action, but may have gone a bit too far, and he just gets blasted apart. He does have a buyback. May need to use it. There's Yang. Waiting, hiding under that Shadow Blade, thinking about making his move in. Q, though, still waits on those back lines, ready to go just in case. There's the move in from Amy. Sets it up with the Echo. They're able to burst through Burning's first life. But is that going to be good enough as he comes out once again? There's Yang waiting with the rock, though, is going to be Q. Quickly canceling it out. The boat's going to be flying on into action, and Vici have to step off a bit. Now OP on the Yules, able to get the blink out. IG still backing off a bit here. Vici, though, have committed most of their defensive tools at this point.
But like finally Yang just said, it's better to get a 1-second black hole than not use black hole at all. He knew it's going to get cancelled, but I think it finally just said enough's enough. I'm just going to use it. 1-second stun is something.
Yeah, but what, is that a success for Vici or not? Because they stop IG for pushing. IG are not going to be pushing anymore. Can they even make a push happen within that window now? They're going to try.
We're kind of where we were all along. It's a loss for them because they had to use buybacks. So if one of these buybackless heroes gets picked off, you're in big trouble. This Rubik's actually been key for the high ground defense. The threat of a telekinesis pull-in is kind of acting like at least a pseudo lasso to just commit a hero deep inside the base. So the buybacks is the concern. The actual fight itself was good for them, but they didn't get enough considering they committed those buybacks.
IG back at the mid lane, though. They know they have this window of opportunity, and they're just going to use the X onto Burning like a bungee cord.
the really nice thing, actually, Vici Gaming have going.
Ooh, quick reaction there. X-Success trying to jump
they
in,
got him.
but they will react
Coil
on
stun.
back. They are going to catch him with that coil and be able to chop down the bat. So it looks like IG are going to retreat, and we have at least another 10 minutes, it looks like.
So I think the big thing for Vici that I kind of just hit me is the Enigma Black Hole cooldown is much shorter than the Rock. There is a 60-second window where you should be okay with that first Black Hole being cancelled, because it's actually 60 seconds now where he's got Black Hole and there's no Rock, which is where if that push continued for IG, they were actually going to meet another Black Hole very soon. So this Octarine cooldown reduction combined with his talent actually is quite nice for the Enigma.
Now IG need to step off. So what do you do now if you're IG besides God, rinse and repeat and wait for Roche again?
This game's just going to drag, you know? I mean, in a kind of exciting way, because it's kind of really hard to see where it's going to end up and who's going to slip first. It really feels like a game of who's going to make that first dieback, who's going to overcommit first. And Vici Gaming are definitely the ones reacting more to IG's pressure.
This has been the case the last 2 times for sure. VG put up a good hold and then they smoke and go back on the move. So if IG are privy to it, oh god. Burning tried to run in to go for the double damage. It might have just baited him into a fight. He's going to be forced to pop the BKB. He tries to man fight onto end inside that coil, but it's not going to be working. Now could be the follow-up, a move in from OP. Waiting could be Yang as he walks in with a BKB. He's only able to grab 1 with the black hole on this end. It's on OP. Can they muscle down OP? A good Torrents there. The follow-up dunk is helping to get the finish, though. XXS into action. Gets a 2-man lasso pullback onto Burning. Here comes the Rock. There goes the finish. End's going to be taken out. They get the follow-up onto Amy. IG get a good commanding position in this fight. It costs them an OP buyback. And Vici quickly scatter out.
OP, buying back. We'll see if they push forward with this. Lifesteal does not have buyback, but that is not something that is privy to IG's side. They may be thinking, let's force it out, but at the same time, forcing out a buyback could also lead to your death. So they may not feel confident to go for a full-on high ground push, not knowing the status of this Lifestealer's buyback.
Here they come, though. They're running their way down this mid lane. Let's see what they can do.
Maybe just thinking, hey, try force it out, then just run away if he does buyback, or, hey, perhaps they just feel like he doesn't have it because he did recently buy that MKB.
Let's see what they can do. Already the Rock scratching its way. Burning goes in. There's no buyback yet, so Burning says, let's go straight up top.
The positioning from Vici Gaming is very much like, we're not fighting.
Oh my god, they hit towers so hard, so fast. Okay, though, they do manage to get a lot of damage on the Burning, my god! He does pop the Satanic and get half of his life back, but man, that was close.
Yeah, he had the creeps there to heal off of, and it looked, the Dream Call, I think, was used after the BKB, so it didn't catch him. But Tier 3 goes down bottom, so Dire team can actually kill some shrines now, but just the one lane of Rax. I was going to say, defending that mid-melee Rax was not a priority. I don't think that matters at all to them. If they lost 2 lanes, then it starts to add up. Then you get a little bit worried. But losing that one Rex, I feel like the state of this game hasn't changed based on that mid lane going down.
Yeah. Just now, Vici pushing the other direction here.
Now we hit a long Roshan respawn. They're going to be like, come on. We finally got our refresh on Enigma. We finally raided contest a Roshan. He's not up. But let's see where this game goes from here. Doesn't look like the Radiant team have a gem or much detection to actually deal with this Shadow Blade of Enigma. Sometimes late game Shadow Blades can be incredibly powerful just because everyone's kind of using up all their item slots. Only really supports who can carry gems, and supports often, like a Warlock, he doesn't want, there's no use of Warlock having a gem because he's sitting as far back as possible to drop the Rock to counter initiate. So having detection for Enigma is going to be kind of troubling act.
I mean, hell, even Baboka's looking to be a core now. He's got a Daedalus on Q.
Shit, he's farmed.
He's like, I'm just going to go in there and hit him with a huge-ass Tidebringer.
200 Tarn AoE is amazing.
There's a set of memes about, so people would say, like, you know, real B-God because he's Boboka did so much damage. And it was kind of about, like, the heroes that he used or the role that he played. And the second picture of the meme is basically him with, like, a really confused look, like, pondering the universe. And the caption is, like, aren't I the real carry of the scene? What's going on with Burning? And yeah, the transition. Okay. Obviously not the same as Ricky with those, you know, massive Quilos, but there's an initiation onto FY.
Yep, they get him down fast. Oh, Yang might be caught too. Forced in an awkward spot to commit him with the black hole, and that's going to get taken out just like that because he already committed him with the money. He's going to have no buyback on this one. Doesn't even get a chance to use like 2 black holes in one fight, and Vici are just scampering away.
Yeah, he wanted to go for that black hole knowing he'd have a second, but you don't get to use the second if that troll just turns and kills you. And I think the philosophy there should have been just ditch the Rubik, defend our high ground, but every single hero has been key for every high ground defense. Like, we've yet to see Vici Gaming like successfully hold high ground with a hero dead. Like the Lifesteal was dead, they lost the Rax. The Rubik gets picked in, and they may also lose one.
Saying ain't so, Vici. After all of that, this cannot be how it ends. It's looking like it.
Looking like an anticlimactic
Come on!
finish.
Let's see a monster dunk. Oh, he gets hit by a torrent, and he'll have to walk away wet. XXS waits in the trees. He kidnaps one. Come on, Amy. Go in there and dunk it on in. Or not. Looks like this one's going to belong to IG. It takes about an hour to do so. Vici put up a hell of a defense, but ultimately get caught outside the base, and we're not able to have everything ready for any sort of huge defense and attempted run back.
I mean, Jack made the comparison to the Alamo. It kind of does feel like that, you know. Their guns finally ran out of bullets, and all they had left was hope. But you can't fire pistols with hope.
No.
Yeah, once Davy Crockett goes down, it's hard to hold the last line.
Vici though don't want to tap. Do not want to tap. They're just like, we already committed so long. I want to see 2 black holes, a dunk, a coil, all in a fight.
Be another Roche for IG, who importantly also now can make up for the TA's lack of buyback with this. They may even wait for that buyback before going for any risky plays, but things looking very smooth sailing for them. I think Troll made a blunder not getting his magic resistance talent at level 25. He's just getting spammed by this Dagon. He can heal it back up, but I don't really feel like the reduction on Whirling Axes makes
20%
a difference.
is pretty nice.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah. Also, if there's like any mischance, I mean, the Lifestealer has had an MKB for a while. So.
Actually,
Yeah.
I was thinking like, oh, he's going to rage it off or match it off, but no, you're right, he's got an MKB. What do I think?
It's more to spam waves, I guess, or something. I don't know. That is funny.
Yeah, I think it's a... I mean, it's one of those... It's definitely a mistake, but at the same time, it's not like saying that you're going to lose a... I mean, maybe you could lose a game over it, but not when you're this far ahead. It's one of those things like when you're ahead and you're wondering, oh, what item should I get? There's normally one best item, but you could get any item and you may just win, and that's kind of what this level 25 talent is.
All right, double damage rune bottled up for His Royal Highness, His Emperorness.
The Royal God gives him the bottle.
The Burningness. Here he comes.
No, BKB.
Wants to chop down Vici here. Vici, though. One final hurrah. Shadow-bladed Enigma. Ready with not one, but 2 different black holes from 2 different galaxies to take it to IG. Team IG. Can it be done?
But do the 2 black holes lead to create a wormhole to victory for Vici Gaming?
Yeah.
I'm reaching.
That sounds like one of Slax's crazy Ags Enigma ideas. I think it was called Wormhole.
They get sucked themselves right back into TI4 Grand Finals. Can Vici do it?
They lost the TI4 Grand Finals.
I don't know.
I mean, that's a better place to be than at MDL with no TI hopes.
I don't
Jack.
know.
That's true.
I think they would take...
Oh, you know what?
Right,
Maybe the first ESL one New York?
Yeah.
How about that? Okay.
Yeah. if they could take a little pill from our...
Black played Invoker in the deciding game of that series against
Yes,
EG.
he did.
It was quite impressive because we were like,
Yes.
Super plays Invoker, Ice plays Invoker, so does Black. They handed it to Black in the safe lane.
Okay, here we go. IG looking to finally put a lid on him, and we
Oh,
got a regular we got a rodeo here as everyone's tossing each other up. It's going to be Yang moving in with a big old black hole and trying to get in and get the right clicks done.
He's got another hole.
Vici could manage to keep this one alive under Megas. If possible, they're looking to get a hold of Burning. Burning scampered between them. The Rock's going to get committed. Yang still holding that black hole, sir. Get in there and find a place to drop it right now.
He's waiting for the perfect one.
Somewhere here.
Doesn't need it.
Somewhere here. It's not even necessary. Are they actually going to hold without using it and use the black hole on the other end of the map? Oh my god, if Vici somehow win this game, I
All right,
swear
Jack.
to God.
Davy Crockett at Aegis. He's still alive. Round 2. He's not done yet.
Get that Baboka. Vici Gaming hold with Megas. Dance it up, boy.
I hate those music ones. They're so triggering. Which is, I guess, what taunts are meant to be. So
Can
they're
you
achieving
hear
their
it?
purpose.
If he's glimmered, can you hear it in the invis? That'd be just so good. Oh my god, he eats the cheese. He gives himself a boat. He's just making these guys work so hard for it. He's just dancing around him. Taunt again.
Meanwhile,
there you go.
they're tier 4s.
Meanwhile, back in base, you're losing. Look at Baboka. He's still alive. They're not even going to kill him.
They got no detection. The first time he went invis, he could have just ran away.
Oh my god, he's gone. He just forced him to style around for about a minute and a half.
So do we think that happened at the Alamo as well? Like, do we think that just
He just took him on a crazy drunken pirate adventure up through the top lane. That was amazing. That was awesome.
Oh man.
the last parapet still stands here? The final gate
What
here.
are they doing? They really just are. There's a chance. We are in it. There's not a part of our. There's one tier 4 with 150.
It's healable damage. It's going up 3 HP per second.
Healable.
So
Healable life.
Oh, they got the Enigma
look at
Eidolon
all the
tower.
army
Yes!
of Eidolons.
They can push this out.
Oh,
I
Oh,
love
look at
it.
this! Look at this growing army over here.
This is
the bog. We've resorted to growing a
Yeah.
bog.
I thought this talent was so garbage because of how much gold it's going to feed, but the few times I've seen it, it's been crazy how many Eidolons there are. You actually can't deal with that many Eidolons unless you've got like some insta AoE spell there, but it's
Desperate times, my friend. Desperate times.
Bat's gonna fly over and just try to torch them all up,
Yeah.
I'm sure, at some
Well,
point.
your opponents are all 6-slotted. Who cares if you give them more gold, you know? It doesn't actually matter at this point. Kunk has got a silver edge and all kinds of crazy shit happening. Like there's no worry about giving money to this team.
they all expired, unfortunately. That zombie army was
There, it's back in the mid
oh,
lane
it's
though.
in the mid lane. Okay.
Fascinating to watch. They ain't gonna get the hits in? Oh, look at them all now.
I think the key thing for IG is just jumping this Enigma. That was, to go back to that big fight, they got the jump on the Enigma, but FY God steals Lasso, lassoed the 2 heroes that were killing the Enigma with the Ags Lasso. He just picked up the Ags before that team fight. He made such an insanely good play there and keeps his team in this game.
There's a smoke. 2 rocks up on Q as well for 2 black holes if he's alive.
All right,
assuming he's able to
IG
cancel both.
looking to put it to
Enigma,
bed.
you can't show yourself at bottom, my friend.
He just showed himself at bottom. But they didn't go for him. They actually jumped in and instead tried to make the opening onto end. Couldn't quite get it. Now the black hole's there. It does get canceled, though. Looks like Bernie was able to turn and get a bash or something, but it is concluded. The buyback is there, though. Ooh, trying to use the refresher to get the second rock. Q gets hit with the sheep, but he's going to be fine.
Oh, he's ready to cancel the second black hole.
Yes, he is.
Oh, we got
There's
the wall,
no,
though.
we got hit with the black hole, though. Can they finish him off? They can with a dunk, with a stolen rock, too. Are Vici Gaming going to hold again here? End is trying to fight it out between the two of them here. OP can't seem to do any damage to this life stealer at all.
Throne.
Get back to the base, guys. Oh
Remember,
my god,
remember.
the creeps are going at the throne now. They're trying to burst them all down, but, I mean, VG are kind of holding here a bit. The rocks are going in. They're spanking it.
Kunka wants in. Bobuka's like, all right, guys, I'm online. I'm the carry.
He's slapping at it a bit. OP's going to work here. Vici Gaming, it looks like they finally called it now. Thank you for taking us through that wild adventure, gentlemen. All right, great. All for that. Jesus Christ. Nearly 70 minutes in, IG finally get it done.
It is
VG.
only with a legendary defense like that, though, that you remember the album. I mean, if they just gave up and just, you know, nobody would talk about it. But really,
Yeah.
when you hold like that, that's what makes it a thing of legend.
Yeah, now everyone can just be totally mentally fatigued for the next game and totally just drained. That'll be better.
I want
Oh
to say
my
this
God.
to our viewers out there as well. That is a good approximation of what happens when you play Dota on Perfect World servers in China, because people will try to the bitter end. I've seen that happen so many times. There's no giving up because you died once or twice, or you got roamed on, or you lost a lane. They will fight to the very last inch. You have to earn every inch of that win, and that's, I love that about Chinese Dota in general. And for this game, it ended up being more entertaining than maybe we had thought after the early to mid game.
It was a lot of fun, like seeing FY's Rubik make so many big plays in team fights. Like his team don't get the win, and like his end game score doesn't really reflect it. But he made some sick Warlock Golem steals, the Lasso steals. He really kept them in it, and the high ground defense was definitely impressive from Vici, even if they didn't have a real win condition to actually turn the game around.
It is, yeah. I can see the appreciation there. It's very strategic at that point. You got to really calculate all factors, and there's only so many opportunities in games and scrims that you can practice those kind of situations. So, not always my cup of tea, personally, but it is it is definitely nerve-wracking down to the bitter end here. So I am just that much more eager to see what the hell is going to be in store for us for game number 2, gentlemen. That's right, we got more to come. So let's cut to a break. When we come back, more Beyond the Summit coverage of the Mars 2 TV Dota League. Well, bye. Hello?